In the next few minutes, you'll witness an extraordinary journey of transformation. Jolene was trapped in addiction and homelessness. She had lost everything, her home, her family, her hope. But Jolene was brave enough to ask for help. Good people and good organizations answered the call. With their support, Jolene did the incredibly hard work of rebuilding her life. With Second Harvest help, our donors and volunteers were able to provide the gift of food to Jolene and her family. We are so grateful that a little help was available when Jolene needed it most. Today, Jolene is thriving, caring for her family, and giving back to her community. As you watch her story unfold, remember, your generosity could be someone's turning point.
My name is Jolene Zeck, and my family has been helped by Second Harvest.
We see people on the street and we know they're hungry, but we don't see the people that aren't on the street that are hungry. My name is Bob McConkey, and I'm the president of McConkey Auction Group.
There was some addiction in there, and that really ties into, me leaving at 17 and kind of just trying to fend for myself.
There's a million different ways to hit rock bottom, but it's about people that hit rock bottom.
I had a really big argument with my stepdad, and I left at 17, and so that's where everything really started with, some of the addiction and kind of going from place to place. I became pregnant with my son at 18. I really had nowhere to go. And food banks definitely had a positive ripple effect in my life.
I would say that those of us that don't struggle shouldn't try to walk in their shoes and think that we know what it's like for them to struggle. That is not our job.
It was really hard to provide for my family, which then kind of brought me back into the start of my addiction again. And, everything came spiraling down. Like, I lost my job, I lost my car, and finally it came to the point where I just couldn't provide for my son.
We're not here to judge. We've been given resources, and to hoard those resources is just wrong.
I was in and out of jail. I struggled with that, hanging out with all the wrong people. And that pretty much was the start of my homelessness. So after losing everything, I was homeless for probably about a good 3.5 years.
As time's gone on, we have brought some people up from the Union Gospel Mission.
In order for me to get my kids back, I had to get help first.
She came up here and was very timid, and this was a big reintroduction into society for her.
One of the counselors had heard about DAA, and it wasn't on the list, but I actually had worked as a receptionist at a car dealership many years ago, and I'm like the fast-paced, movement, and I like, to be busy and being around people.
Our team embraced her, and she just started to flourish.
Oh, I love my job. It's really family-oriented out there, and it's really a busy place, and I really enjoy, the people, and what really drove me to not only just want to get a job there was because they treated me like a real person.
I would say that Jolene started to gain confidence almost immediately, probably within the first 30 days.
When I first started working at DA back in 2017, I had heard that DA sponsors the Bike to Go program.
This thing started pretty small with probably 30, 40, 50 kids at the most, and now it's, 400 kids.
So I sponsor a couple of the kids, at Sunset Elementary, and DA matches those funds. And it kind of gave me a little bit of a more understanding of what Second Harvest was about. Like, oh yeah, these are the same, same snacks and everything that my daughter used to get.
And we have each department have a shift every week to drop off the food, so they all get exposure to what it is that we're doing as a company. We didn't know if it was something that she wanted to do, but Jolene and one other person are really the responsibility to administer the entire program.
It makes a big difference to the kiddos that are receiving it not just to my daughter and her friends when I was in the program, but to the kiddos now that I see when I'm delivering the food.
She knows where her roots are, and she knows what we stand for, and those all line up pretty good for her. And so as a result of that, it was a no-brainer for her to really invest in, especially as she got more and more confident and more just kind of on her feet, So I don't know what the future holds for Jolene, but she's not done in terms of giving back.
It really makes me feel really good. The giving back is really important to me because I know what it was like on the other side of things.
I think for her, it's a real sense of accomplishment and the fact that what she depended on so much has now come full circle where because she knows, she didn't know who they were, but she knew somebody was administrating food for her when she needed it. And it became very evident to her as she got healthier that a lot of people helped her along the way. When you're really in trouble, you don't even realize you're being helped really. But boy, as you recover, you start to become aware.
Just seeing how food definitely played a role in a big part, in my recovery. And then working at DA was huge because that definitely was like, I didn't realize how many kids there are that really need help with food. And, seeing what Second Harvest does and what they provide and everything that they do. And then, me being on the other end of, helping coordinate, with Second Harvest. I mean, the staff is always absolutely amazing.
If you're hungry and you have nothing to eat, that is something that most of us don't experience.
It's just that little bit of food really helps and makes a difference, especially, for someone who, is either struggling or just trying to get back up on their feet. I'm proud of so many things. It's like, man, I have this whole crazy story and everything that I went through and losing my kids and just being completely lost and broken to, given a chance and the working and, to where people wouldn't even recognize me.
She's married, she has stepkids, she has her daughter, she has a man who loves her, that she loves. They are stable, they have great housing. If you're part of this community and you care about people and you're not just self-centered, you've got to give back. And Second Harvest is it's so, focused on a single need that it actually makes a giant difference.